Lights out, and away we go. I'm here with Anush Sirik. Sorry, that was extremely loud. I didn't realize.
You peaked.
Yeah, I peaked. But what can I do? This was the greatest race of all time, maybe?
Yeah, this deserves it.
What a race, man. And the fact is that the pole position got transferred into a win. And guess who it was, man? It's the guy you predicted to win.
Carlos freaking Sainz. Like, finally. Oh my God. I've been waiting for like how many races we've got so far?
10. This is the 10th round.
10th round. And like I've been predicting it since the first round. Carlos will win. Carlos ka aa raha hai. Barcelona se Carlos ka win aa raha hai.
He's going to win in Spain. Oh,
Yeah.
God. He spun in Spain.
I mean, he kind of did here as well. But we'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into that.
But man, I was so happy for Carlos. Such a great
Yes.
performance. It's been a long time coming. And the fact that he got the pole position and the race win on the same weekend at his 150th Grand Prix.
Oh, it's 150th.
Yeah.
Oh,
he had the
okay.
150 on his hat as well. They gave it to him.
Finally.
That's awesome, dude. Like it's a long time coming.
It's the longest streak also, I think.
I believe so, yes. Longest time anyone's got a podium, no race win, but multiple podiums. Yeah,
yes.
that's what he's been doing.
So 150th was the lucky number for Carlos.
It happens. I really hope this brings confidence into him.
Yes.
That aage jaake na, he's going to be bombastic.
Yes, I hope so. But I just wanted him to win once. I'm done. I'm good.
Okay,
now.
Charles Leclerc fan.
I'm okay. We will come to that part as well. But really glad of Joe.
Yeah, so before we start off, we have to talk about the fact that Guan Yu Zhou is safe. Like, it's so wonderful. Like, you know, as a motorsport fan, we're reminded again, no matter what safety precautions they take, whatever they do, that threat is always there.
Exactly.
Of them getting hurt.
Yeah.
We've seen that because someone passed away in F2 a couple of years ago, man. And this time we saw when the car was upside down,
he was skidding through, like, I was upside down and skidding.
I was so confused. Coffee's like, George Russell's out of the race. I'm like, Gari ulti ja rahi hai piche se, yaar, kya ho gaya?
Not talking about this.
Yeah, I was like, and they were clearly avoiding talking about it. And
because they didn't show it even for a very long time.
And I think they learned a lot from Romain Grosjean's crash in Abu Dhabi.
In
Bahrain, sorry.
Yeah.
In Bahrain, because that time people complained like, "Ab bar replay dikha rahe ho, bar ye aag dikha rahe ho ki ye jal raha hai."
But like we need to see as well, right? What if he's okay? He's not like.
But that was before the fact that we didn't even know that he got burns on his hand. And then there's shot of him going in a helicopter. This time, this was the longest 30 minutes of my life, I swear. Yeah, as an F1 fan,
we didn't see anything.
I was like, I'm worried. I'm like, yeah. And you heard like the pundits talking like, oh, Pierre Gasly just went to the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, they were very casual. They're not acknowledging the fact that we are not looking at this.
No, but they were just mentioning that this driver went to Alfa Romeo to check on Joe. Is he okay? And they just
that was the only thing that
Pierre Gasly went to them. That's it, because Pierre Gasly wasn't part of the crash. And the thing is, that crash was so bad. No one's even talking about like who's at fault or anything. It's a racing incident, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But like no one's talking about it because that's how horrifying the crash was.
Yeah,
it went into the fence, man.
Yeah.
There was when I saw the replay, you saw the little photographer running away from it.
Yeah.
I've never had that in freelance.
There's a whole angle that you can see, like, so circling on social media, that you see as that spectator is right there.
Yes.
And you see it coming right towards him.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. And I was just like thankful that this car didn't set to flames, because if it's set to flames there, that would have been really bad.
I was also worried about tires, man. Tires coming off.
Yeah.
I've seen tires come off very easily off these cars.
And those just hit so many other cars, just like there.
Cars as well could have catapulted on top of the fence, because the car was almost over the fence at one point. But besides the fact, also Albon's safe as well, because a lot of people forgot the fact that Albon had a worse crash.
So he got hit by 3 cars.
Yeah.
In one, 2, and then 3.
Yeah, it was like pinball with him.
Yeah.
And it was a horrible crash for him because he went into the concrete wall. Actually, he came off worse. Like, he actually went to hospital. Joe was actually in the paddock afterwards.
Yeah, really, I was glad to see him though.
So it was really nice. Stefano De Michele, the CEO of F1, to see him. But overall, the halo, that's why we needed it, man. If it wasn't there, we'd been in a different story.
Like, if it wasn't there, that means he was skidding on his head?
Possibly.
Like, that would have been the more likelier.
But these cars have such a low center of gravity, which means they're hard to flip over.
Yeah.
So imagine the impact.
Exactly.
The fact the last time we saw was Fernando Alonso being flipped. Not flipped over, but just skidding over Charles Leclerc in Belgium. But in the end, like, it just proves we need to work on these safety things, and there's still work to be done.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're now going to work on the gap, like, between the barriers and that. Because he went in the gap. That never has happened before.
I've never seen a car between the area where the scooters are. That's
they would have never counted that. Gadi नीचे है तो नीचे ही रहेगी. I mean, we don't need such high fences,
catch
or,
fences,
yes.
yes.
fences or barriers to do it. But then they're like, oh,
yeah,
it's the first time for
obviously people saying gravel cars bure. I'm like, no, they're not. They're actually very good.
It slowed him down by the time. I mean, if
it's just that 99.99% of the time when a car goes off, it's not upside down.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
That's different.
But moving along, we're happy Joe's safe, and so is Albon.
Yes.
Let's talk about that first lap, not first lap, or first three corners.
Yeah.
What a spectacular first three corners besides the crashes.
Yes.
Because there was heavy.
Right. Yeah.
Because like Lewis, I was screaming. I was like, oh my God, Lewis is coming in third already. Leclerc had a bad start. Then
Leclerc and Sainz both.
Perez as well.
Yeah, they didn't have that good of a start. I mean, Max was on the softs as well. So that gave him that great launch as well throughout it. But both Ferraris didn't launch off the way that they would have intended to do it at that moment.
Obviously.
And like Sainz could not recover after that because Verstappen was gone by that moment if that racing lap would have happened.
Yeah.
But what happened afterwards, which I still don't understand, that why did we reset the grid?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. What is your opinion on that? I don't know if I agree with that because listen, now the hard work's been done in the start, right?
Yeah.
The hard work's been, and you're doing another restart already. So I think Verstappen should have started from P1.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have resetted it. And they had this rule, the fact that they didn't reach the second safety car line.
I mean, you still threw a sector. I mean, that means that a race is not categorized until you have reached that point. I mean, anything happens before that, because I was just thinking that we've had first instance before and we've had red flags like this, but didn't have a case like this before, and never has this ruling been implemented before that than this point. And I was reading the highlights before I came here that there was still some time that a yellow flag was there and then the red flag came out.
Yes.
And they were still very much clear. They were going towards the straight at that moment.
Yeah, they were going to the main straight in sector 2.
Yeah, exactly. So you were well clear, into the race. So just keep the positions, because you're just telling the drivers, all right, guys, whatever the crash happened, everything is reset.
Whatever the hard work you did is now gone.
Yeah.
And whoever didn't do the hard work, and that was my issue, because in the second start, the people who had a bad start in the first start got a good start now because they learned from it.
Yeah, they knew. I mean,
Sainz was like, "Main to tune aage nahi jana ab dene."
Yeah, but to be honest, I was like ecstatic at that point. I was like, finally, wow, this guy has kind of realized that what he needs to do, especially with Max at this moment, that you can't be goody two shoes with this guy.
Or with your team at the end of the race.
Then we'll come to that too.
But what a race start, man. Lewis didn't get a good start off that one. So Leclerc this time had a better start.
Yeah.
Lando had a pretty good start as well.
Yes.
But my issue with that second restart was actually the reason why I wasn't really rooting for Leclerc for most of the race afterwards, because I think he deserved a penalty there. Hitting Perez. He ruined another guy's race and got away with it. And I think I've seen this a bit too many times where Leclerc gets away with stuff now.
I mean, so
in terms of penalties.
Yeah, I mean, so this whole race, I mean, there are certain parts where you say that, okay, this person hit this person, he made him go off the track.
Yeah,
I mean, there were a lot of those, a lot of moments like that. But they were very lenient on these guys didn't even investigate anything that was happening throughout this race.
No, that one was not even noted. Noted. It's not even noted. And I was like, dude, this is destroying someone's race. He's in the back of the field now.
So I was going through that replay even after during the race when they kept showing it. So what I feel what the stewards did was, because Perez didn't realize that Leclerc went inside, because he was covering off Max and Sainz at that moment, because Sainz had the inside, Max was taking the outside. The only other place Perez had was inside, but Leclerc already committed to the inside, saying that he dived basically. But if you see that the fact that Perez very erratically goes left to cover him off, whereas I feel that he didn't notice him because the side mirrors are so small at that moment. And knowing that Perez is a very calculated driver, I mean, we are going to come to the later laps and know how calculated he is. I mean, knowing that if Charles was there, he would have never done that as well. Charles was obviously a little bit more aggressive because he wanted to get to the front.
He's a more aggressive driver in general anyway.
In general, exactly. So he went over it. But still, I think so. That's why I get that the first lap, and it's the first lap again. So they were like,
I know, but I still think he ruined the guy's race though. Potentially.
I mean, not really.
I mean, yeah, I say this, and he came P2.
Yeah.
He beat Leclerc, but again, like Leclerc's damage was minimal, as an end plate came off.
Yeah.
And we've seen that. Also, can I just say, do end plates not matter? Because whenever I see an end plate come off, it doesn't affect the driver.
So this was like similar damage that what happened to Lewis last in Silverstone. Like, exactly.
Yes, exactly. A year ago.
Max hit him and then his end plate was like, but they're like, it's fine. And the red flag happened and they elfied it on. Like,
yeah, Elfie Binotto, the bro.
That was all. I mean, they duct taped it
they duct taped
as well. So,
I know, I'm always confused. I'm like, I just said, like, if the front of the front wing is gone, it's over. But like, if chota sa end plate aa jaye, which is like 5 points loss in aerodynamics.
Yeah, so he did have a difference, comparatively. But I think so Charles has managed it a bit more.
I also remember, like, you remember 2018, Verstappen getting that end plate off, and Vettel, and people were like, oh, Vettel's going to overtake him now.
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
Yeah,
because it just didn't affect it that much. I think that's probably got to do with the airflow system and the fact that the sides don't really affect that passing of air to the car as well.
It's more of the downforce. If they lose the downforce, the end plates are more of just to take the wash away from the tires.
Yes.
So that doesn't affect the downforce. But for Perez, he lost most of his.
He had to pit.
Yeah,
he had to get new front wing.
So that's where his downforce was gone.
Yeah.
Similar what happened to Max as well.
Yeah.
Max's underfloor basically got damaged, which lost. And these cars are generating most of their downforce through the underfloor this time.
Yeah.
So that being damaged is a big.
And it's ridiculous. This thing. We'll move on to the couple next laps where Verstappen overtakes.
Yeah.
Is in the lead now. And you're like, okay, it's pretty much over. I'm not expecting anything to happen.
I mean, so like even when he took the lead, I mean, like, so Carlos in Maggots and Beckett's, he kind of spinned out. I mean, there's a challenge that there might have been some wind there, but
again, you have to account for the wind. You can't happen in Spain as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he recovered it well. I mean, he didn't go into the walls or anything. It was very easy to go
okay. But I totally forgot he went off.
Yeah.
Because so much happened in this race. I was like, what is he talking about? Yes, but carry on.
So, when he went off, I was just like, oh, come on, bro. This is the moment. Gotta keep it together.
I was literally shouting. I'm like, yaar, Sainz kya masla tujhe? You had it. You had it in your hands. And I was like, it's over again. And Leclerc's about to overtake him.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he kept it there. He kept Charles as well on bay. But then Max was there, and as a Ferrari fan, I was like,
yeah. But it's ridiculous to think just a small piece of carbon fiber he drives over, and then in 12th on the sausage curbs.
Was Red Bull's actually very key to tell you that it's the underfloor, but they're not telling you which part of the underfloor because it's a very secret on there.
Yeah, there's some mummers going around at flexible floors as well.
Yeah, so they haven't disclosed that what exactly happened, but obviously it was something significant.
But still, like the fact that just carbon fiber just dissipated under the car and it destroyed so much of his car.
Yeah,
that he was not able to even turn on the tires for like good 10 laps.
Yeah, I mean, we had Mick Shumacher on the stick.
Yeah, Mick Shumacher with the battle at the end. Wow.
I really wish he would have gone through the line. I mean, like, take him on the inside.
Oh my god, dude. At the end, I was like, dude, do it. I didn't get it, but still.
Because he had his first points as well. He was a bit calculated. He's like, I'll just let it go. Like, I'm not going to crash into this guy right now.
Yeah, there's no need to do it.
Yeah.
There's no need to do what you did in the Miami GP as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, but moving on from Verstappen, I basically kind of forgot about him at that point.
Yeah, because he just tumbled down the order and he was like, all right, cool.
But even then, what a great drive by him. Despite the damage, he got
P8. He's still there. I mean, I think so Hungary was also a testament. Like last year when his half a car he was driving and he still drove it. For some reason, this guy can drive.
He got points as well that time.
We should also, by the way, talk about it in qualifying when he spinned in the rain. Yeah. And he still keeps it so casually. Like, even in Brazil, he's done this before. He did it in Silverstone. Like, what is this guy? Like, he's the rain master. Like, can you talk to the rain? Like, yeah.
He is definitely the next man in line to get that rain master. I think he's got it by now.
Yeah, he's got it. Like, he's he was on pole.
Yeah.
If Max didn't spin, he was on pole for that as well.
But he did spin. And
Sainz took pole.
And I want to go on to Sainz now. And particularly Ferrari as well. What is Ferrari doing, Mr. Tifosi? I don't understand. They couldn't decide if they want to let Leclerc by. They wasted time. Obviously, as a Hamilton fan, I was like, oh my God, Hamilton can actually win this. And if the safety car didn't happen, I'm 100% sure we're going to be talking about Lewis Hamilton victory here, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they didn't decide it. They let Leclerc way too late. And then they had around, I love that everyone's calculating how much time they had to make a decision for Leclerc to pit. 11 seconds.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't sound a lot. That's a lot of time in F1.
Yeah.
And you literally have, it's in moments of milliseconds. It's not it's not a game of seconds, it's a game of milliseconds. On top of that, the last strategy they gave as well, they didn't pit Leclerc, they pitted Sainz with Hamilton behind them.
Yeah.
And the soft tires. Leclerc's left out like a chicken. Like, just everyone's going to eat him up. Then that led to the fact that they told Sainz, I'm going on a rant, but like they told Sainz, hey, make a gap of 10 cars and make sure he doesn't get overtaken. He's like, what the hell are you guys talking about? I'm going to get eaten alive. And Leclerc will get eaten alive in turn as well. I am so happy. I've never been more happy than a driver defying the orders of his team. What about you? What was your thought about
me? Oh my God.
As a Ferrari fan.
So as a Ferrari fan, it was very confusing, to be very honest, because we all knew the safety car is happening. Majority of the pit, the whole order pitted. All right. So that means that you had time. 11 seconds, you were clear on the fact that to make that time for Charles to come into the pit.
Yeah.
You could have double stacked. Right?
Yes.
There was a potential to double stack at that moment. We've seen teams do it. Mercedes, Red Bull, top tier teams.
I mean, Ferrari is a top tier team, right?
Yeah, I'm going to put them right now a little bit on the side at the moment. So I don't know if there was the hesitation to not double stack, or they really did think that we can't bring Charles in this fast, because maybe by the time, so for the safety car to come on, right, there's a yellow flag first.
Yes.
So at the part of where Charles was, there was still green flag. He was still in the racing part of the track.
Yes.
Ocon was at the back. But still, Sainz and Hamilton were also racing at that moment. By the time the safety car came, he was so near to the pits at that moment, and then the track slowed down. So he was almost still racing towards the pits at that moment. Ferrari just didn't anticipate. Only when Ferrari saw the safety car, then they were like, oh, now we're going to pit Sainz only.
Yeah,
because that's the only time.
I'm less harsh about that situation they were in, because 11 seconds, it's still enough for a team to make a decision, but it's harder.
Yeah.
And especially with the situation, like you beautifully explained what the situation was.
Yeah.
My bigger issue is
I'm coming to the second point. All
right, you can go for this.
Yeah, so
because you are the Tifosi.
So I am the Tifosi. I don't know. I'm just so like. So Ferrari's logic, at that moment was, Sainz is on the softs. He has the most natural way of defending Lewis because he has the faster tire.
Yeah.
Charles will not. Clear cut. That's what exactly happened in the race. He would tumble down the order. And you basically gave a call of a number 2 driver to Sainz. Be like, back him up. All right. Back Lewis up so that Charles gets a bit of a space of it. Maybe Ferrari thought that he backed Lewis up that much and then let Sainz come ahead. But that still doesn't make sense because eventually Lewis would have still chased everyone down.
Do you know how powerful DRS is?
Yes, exactly. They would have chased exactly them down.
And by the way, it's not the Merc. You got a Red Bull behind, man.
Yeah, which everyone, by the way, like till the restart, no one really talked about Red Bull at that moment.
They were like, Perez isn't P4? Like, where'd he come from?
Then like after the restart, everyone realized that, oh, he's actually in the fastest car on the grid and he's P4.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's an on-form Perez.
Perez could have potentially won it if these 3 didn't battle it out.
If Sainz didn't defy the orders.
Yeah.
If they were there, if Sainz did follow orders, he would have won the race.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. He would have just been like, all right, you two side Peugeot. But because he had a guy like Lewis, he had a guy like Leclerc fighting him. And what a battle, by the way.
Yeah.
What a sweet battle of the ages.
Yeah.
I mean, just before F1 was starting this week, they had the video of Alonso versus Vettel from 2014.
Yeah.
One of the greatest battles of all time.
Yeah.
This goes up with it, man. And this you had 3 cars. That last corner where Lewis comes through, and it's one of vintage Crofty moments, right? Where he goes, and if Perez goes off, and Hamilton comes through. It's like beautiful commentary.
I mean, he waited. Like Lewis saw the fact that, all right, Perez is pushing Carlos off. These guys are offline completely.
Yeah.
Right? No one's there. And he's like, whoop. I have my line.
Yeah.
I don't care, guys.
It was incredible. It was such amazing racing.
Though I would also try to give a little credit to Charles. I mean, he was on the hards.
No.
right? And he still fought like anything out there. I mean, he still kept Lewis to a point behind. Lewis really had to work for it. I mean, these guys went through Cops Corner. That's how you do Cops Corner, guys. But it was brilliant by him as well. I mean, he tried to salvage it as much as possible because he was on the
older tires and harder tires.
Fernando could have also catched up to him, but he kept the pace there that, all right, I need to still stay here as much as I can.
Fernando afterwards was like, I was hoping they just crash.
Yeah.
And I take typical Fernando.
Sainz, I mean, I completely understand that he had to defy it. He knew the fact that you were going to not let me win at this moment. And Ferrari is just thinking, I don't know what.
And also he understood if he did follow orders, the Ferrari is not going to win.
Yeah.
That would have been the situation we were.
Exactly.
Either Lewis or Perez would have got to him.
Yeah.
And it would have been over. There's no way Leclerc, because bro, Hamilton was going fastest lap. Midway through the race. Yeah. At the end of the race, who had the fastest lap? Lewis.
Yeah.
Once Lewis got those tires turned on, you knew he was danger. And it was almost vintage Lewis Hamilton, by the way. When I heard my tires are good, I was like,
yes.
oh.
Okay.
Like, no.
Though I feel like if they pitted Lewis a bit earlier and they would have gone for the undercut, I think so he would have come up like a bit ahead as well.
Again, like Lewis's bane of existence is the safety car yet again.
Yeah, exactly. It saved him there.
I thought
it saved a lot of people. It even saved Seb. It even saved two other drivers as well who hadn't pit.
No, I'm not saying it saved him. I think if the safety car didn't happen, I'm saying Lewis would have won.
Yeah,
Lewis is actually, again, I thought it was going to benefit him. I was like, actually, this doesn't benefit him because now there's three fast cars alongside him.
Exactly.
So that was the situation. It was an incredible drive by top 4 cars.
Yeah,
I have to say top 4 cars were.
So did you see on the straight like how Carlos actually was a little mean to like Leclerc?
Yeah,
like, he pushed him.
I'm saying I loved it. I think this is character building for him.
He pushed him and Leclerc went back at him as well.
He's like, "Main Rubens Barrichello nahi hu." I'm not letting you get away with this, man. So, and rightfully so, because listen, in the championship standings, it's not exactly that Leclerc is exactly close to him.
Actually, Perez is the most beneficial in this race in the fact because he came P2, Max came P7. So
I mean, the current standings is 181 for Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
147 for Sergio Perez. Huge difference there still.
Yeah, still.
Sergio needs actually Max to lose or have a DNF.
If Max retired, this would have then swung it completely differently in that sense.
Instead, he got 6 points.
Yeah.
So it didn't exactly benefit him entirely. Then you got Leclerc in 138. So he's close to Perez, but he's further away than he was last week.
I think that's where, Ferrari was like, let's protect the P1 because he still has a shot. I mean, like, where's Carlos at the moment?
He's in P4. This catapults him ahead now. He's in 127. So he's only 11 points away from his teammate now.
Yeah.
That's why you defy the orders because, listen, if you don't want to be a second driver, you got to do this.
You got to do it.
You can't be a Bottas. Yeah. I love Bottas, and I was unfortunate he retired this race, but that's the reason why Bottas never got close to the championship.
Yeah.
And this is why last year, it wasn't cutthroat that Carlos is the second driver because he did get podiums. He did fight, and he was close to points in Leclerc. And we always talk about how Carlos Sainz needs a lot of time to get into shape in the season because the second half of the season is always the strongest point.
Exactly.
And we're finally seeing that happen. It's a long season, so maybe that's why it took so long. So that's probably why. But man, I was enthusiastic for him to win. I was like Lewis could win. Great. I'm so happy. Alonso could get a podium. Seb got points, but I didn't care. I was like, man, this guy deserved it.
By the way, happy birthday to Seb.
Yes, Seb. Happy birthday to Sebastian Vettel, who doesn't exist on social media.
Yes,
you'll never
happy birthday to you, Seb.
But yeah, man, same old story again. We talk so much about Ferrari making blunders. It's been a while since Leclerc won a race, man.
So they didn't broadcast it, but I went on YouTube to see his after.
Oh yeah, I did as well.
Video, and he was just leave me alone,
bro. That's
like Ferrari, like he was like freaking guys, and then he just stopped.
Yeah,
and then you see Binotto talking to him.
Yes, I want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Binotto was wagging the finger at him. He went up to him and said, "Listen, you're in Ferrari. Don't badmouth us like that."
Yeah.
Which is the Ferrari way and which might be the issue as well.
I mean, I do believe he's still, like, even on the radio, he said that he's genuinely happy for Sainz.
It sounded a bit sarcastic.
I mean, no, I'm still
he's
still
like, enjoy the victory.
Yeah, he still was glad that he won. But for Charles's mind, he's just going to ask one question, Ferrari. Why did you not pit me? I was the lead car.
I did the
naturally. I should have been the first car to come in.
I beat Sainz. I was faster without an end plate on the right side of my front wing.
So I should have been the one to get professional. Why did you pit Sainz?
Yeah.
So that's the only question he has. He doesn't mind Sainz winning.
Yeah.
He just has his own concern that I've been getting so many fuck-ups. So sorry for the beep it up, please. So many issues so far. And consistently, this is now like 6 races.
That's the bigger issue, right? It's consistently Leclerc either has his own blunder, either it's a strategy mistake, either a PU issue. It's mostly not Leclerc's fault.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the Imola thing, fine. The rest
after that,
it's not. He hasn't really done anything wrong besides a couple of dangerous moves.
Yeah.
But that's how he drives.
Yeah. I mean,
do you not want to win the driver's? That's probably what he's asking as well. He's like, do you not want me to win the driver's championship? Yeah. Constructors, like, they're most likely not winning that.
Yeah, Red Bull's good clear.
Red Bull's probably clear because they got a very good duo right there who will always perform no matter what. I mean, look at how Perez came back from the field. No one's giving enough credit.
This guy is like, I think so, like great in recovery. I mean, from Bahrain to everywhere.
Yeah, F1's probably gonna upload like a compilation of him doing great a fight through the field again.
Exactly.
That's always a Perez video happening. But yeah, man. But what also made me excited this race was Mercedes have pace now, and the thing we've been talking about, a 3-car battle.
Yeah,
because we got it. We got it this time in the dry. It didn't need to be wet for Lulu to come up and like beat them. Like Lewis was, Lulu. In Urdu that sounds weird. But Lewis was in the fight. George Russell unfortunately had his race ended at the end. By the hats off to George Russell for also going checked on Zhou Guanyu as well. That's great sportsmanship. Also, I liked how afterwards he's like, I went to check on him. Why can't I have the car back? I was like, bro, like it's broken.
Give my car back.
Yeah, but that is so good to see. They brought 6 upgrades. Yeah. 6 up, and it clearly worked. Yes. And what a race to do it at Lewis's home race. And also both your drivers are British.
I was just gonna be so like bamboozled into the fact that I mean, Mercedes not won anything so far in this season, and we've seen their pace.
Yeah.
And then they just come up, Silverstone, Mercedes going to win. Lewis Hamilton's going to win. Like, come on, guys, how do you write this?
Again, like, this doesn't happen. If Ocon didn't have that issue, I keep saying, I'm confident in saying that Lewis would have won.
He was very close for that.
Like, it was just that old meme where you see all the time that Lewis is just throwing fastest laps over and over again. That's what it was happening again.
I just feel even towards the end, like, I feel that Mercedes and Ferrari didn't really account for Perez there at that moment, because
the
on that restart, Perez was much closer to Lewis Hamilton when Lewis was to the Ferraris.
Yeah, Lewis actually couldn't start the tires up as well.
Yeah, the Red Bull did it beautifully.
He was even saying that I probably would have been better off on the older tires.
Yeah.
He was one of the drivers who probably would have been better off.
So there's still issues for Mercedes.
Definitely.
Yeah, there are.
Glimmers of hope.
Glimmers of hope.
And I'm really excited for Hungary. I keep saying this every time, like Hungary is going to be fantastic because that is a great equalizer for all drivers, right?
Yeah.
It's where the car doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, it's more.
Your car has to be like kind of like really bad for you to be out of the points there.
Yeah.
It's where you saw Alonso get amazing P6s over the time at McLaren Honda.
Yeah.
That's when you know what the driver makes a difference. So I'm excited to see what happens there because that is the last time when Lewis didn't get a victory in a season. That's where he won.
Yeah.
At Hungary 2014. And also this was the 10th round. It was also the 10th round last time. So there was a chance he was going to repeat history. Although he did beat the record of having the most podiums at the same track.
Yeah, so
13.
It had to be Silverstone.
Yeah, I mean,
it had to be.
I mean, of course. I mean, so fitting well. But that was fantastic. But the other thing that made me so happy, we be talking about this young man to do well. And he finally got points. We talked a little bit about him, but Mick Shumacher.
Great. I mean, great drive.
I mean, genuinely a good drive for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from that drive.
It was both houses were in the points.
Yeah. Did you hear the radio? They were going berserk in the background. They were screaming like they won the championship. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize they hadn't gotten points for a long time now. I didn't realize. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, Haas is good again. Yeah. Because of the early performances of Kevin Magnussen.
But they went a little back.
They had a horrible qualifying alongside Aston Martin, who's another team who got points thanks to Sebastian Vettel.
So for even Aston Martin, like, if I want to talk about them, because if you see the practice sessions, they're good. They're top 10 in the practice sessions.
Happens every time.
And like Seb was saying on the radio, like, guys, why are we doing this? Like, what do we do?
He literally went, not again.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do to my car afterwards?
Yeah, like in qualifying that it's just not working. Like, what's happening here, guys?
they often say free practice is not an indication of true pace.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that much of a difference. It's like saying, okay, Lewis is getting P1 and F1, now he's going to be P13.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to them. They're like coming in top 10, coming at P6 in free practices, and they end up in P19, P18.
Yeah.
I mean, this time it was P18 and P20.
So this happened in Canada. Canada was good. Canada, we had wet qualifying.
Yeah. And obviously Sebastian Vettel being good in the wet despite Germany.
And then it was a wet qualifying this time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll just maybe give it to the wet qualifying. Maybe that car just gets a little bit off when it's wet at that moment. I mean, he did have pace throughout it. I mean, he's like, he came a very good P7.
Yeah.
P7.
P8.
P8.
Yeah.
So that was good drive by himself as well.
No, sorry, P9. P8 is Mick Shumacher.
Yeah. P7 is?
P7 is Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen. Yes. Now we have the order now.
Yeah.
So and he was in the points. I mean, he did recover well out of it.
The
safety car also helped him.
Safety car helped him as well, and also he gave up on the fight because he was actually ahead of Max Verstappen and Mick Schumacher. So he let them by. He's like, I can't fight this. I need to make sure I just get points.
Yeah.
Which is understandable when you're in such a crap car.
And then he let Mick and in the post interview as well, like after his show,
I was gonna cry because when he comes up, just sweetest father just coming up being like, good job.
Yeah, and he even said that I was just like rooting for him, like, come on, Mick, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, that's so cute, man. This is that parental figure he represents for him. And also like the mixed radio is one of the best I've heard in a long time. It was genuine. His mother also came on.
Yeah.
His sister was rooting him on as well because they live in the UK actually. That's
okay.
Yeah, I believe so. That's what the situation was.
All right.
But that's why he has like kind of an English accent sometimes.
Yeah, he has a very pure English accent.
Like it's not German.
Yeah, it's not German.
But it was wonderful to see and happy to see the Haas got points, double points as well.
Yes.
Well deserved, I think, there. And for Sebastian Vettel as well. In between, we had the Alpines and the McLarens. I say Alpines and McLarens. I say Alpine and McLaren. Because one guy obviously not his fault, fuel pump issue. The other guy, listen, we always talk about him. I don't want to talk about it. I get it. Ricciardo sucks right now. And it hurts me a lot as a fan of his. And man, what do we say about him?
Let's just not talk about him because like we've done the discussions in the sense and it's slowly just coming to that point that Ricciardo might not survive this season if this continues.
Because where will he go?
Because I even think that even a podium somehow, some way miraculously comes, that still won't save him the way maybe last year, maybe Monza's win saved him. Because you have to really see the relative pace between Lando and Ricciardo at the moment. It's
also
miles apart.
Taking the fact that Sebastian Vettel is ahead of him in the driver standings. Did you know that?
Gay said.
Yeah. P13, Sebastian Vettel, 15 points. P14, Daniel Ricciardo, 15 points. Obviously, that's done by the rundown.
For Daniel, the problem is that it's consistency. It's like we're not saying that come like P3 or like 2 something in that sense. But just get back into the points.
Be consistent like Lando. Lando is in P7 at the moment. So after the top 3 teams, Lewis is P6. Next is Lando Norris with 58 points. That's the big difference between these cars.
Yeah.
These two drivers, not cars. Because they have the same machinery. And it's not like Ricciardo doesn't have any prowess prior to joining McLaren. Yeah. He's always been the number 1 driver at every team he's been at. Yeah. He left Red Bull that last year because he's like, I'm not number 1 driver. I deserve to be number 1 driver.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure McLaren's not in the sense that, oh no, we're giving Lando the better parts or anything that sense.
I was shocked to hear that Pierre Gasly has signed with AlphaTauri.
Yeah, just FYI. I warned him, I don't get what he's thinking about his future career. Because that Red Bull seat and that Red Bull thing is gone.
For a good 2-3 years.
And that toxic environment inside Red Bull is a big, his career in Red Bull is not there. It ended his career, but he salvaged it back due to AlphaTauri. And I don't believe that there's no team out there not looking at him. There are a lot of teams that should be looking at Pierre Gasly at this moment as a possible replacement.
And also his recent pace and the race for AlphaTauri was awful this time. They both he crashed into his own teammate who's outperforming him in the weirdest sense. I'd never thought that happened. That Yuki Tsunoda would be outperforming Pierre Gasly. It's really weird. And although Pierre Gasly has more points though, by the way. Yeah, 16. But that's because one race he finished P5 or something. Yuki's mostly been in P8s, P89s. But consistency-wise, Yuki's been outperforming him.
Yeah. And
today he was at fault again. He ruined Yuki's race. Yuki finished last place.
Yeah.
So I'm really confused as to what Pierre Gasly wants to do. These are two drivers I'm very confused by right now.
Yeah.
Because but also think about where would Pierre Gasly go after this? Listen, he's not going to go to Williams. Williams is a worse team than
McLaren is my most logical choice.
But that makes you wonder
from Daniel.
But it makes you wonder that maybe they rejected him.
Yeah, that's where I am now. But then are they really going to then stick with Daniel? Because Daniel does have 2 years contract.
Yeah.
Then that means they're going to run his contract down.
This might have to do with the fact that it might be too expensive to fire Ricciardo. That is a situation, by the way.
Yeah, to get him out of the
contract. It's like when you get fired from a place on Julie, you have to pay the person as well extra money.
So wait a second. How long did he sign on for? Like, this is one more contract. One year extension.
So this, when you say 2 years, this is counted as one of them. So next year is his last one, I believe.
At AlphaTauri or?
Pierre Gasly. I believe he just signed on for another year.
So if then it's 2 years, and then there's one more year for Ricciardo on McLaren, and there's one more year for Pierre Gasly at AlphaTauri, then that might make sense.
Yeah, but
because you usually don't have contract extensions a year type. Like, it's very rare-ish. Usually, I mean, you have Max Verstappen till 2028. And the Red Bull.
Is Max Verstappen's contract $200 million a pound or something? It's ridiculous.
So maybe I guess that they're just. I mean, Pierre just convinced the team that give me another year, so that because a lot of other contracts will also be up in another 2 years.
I believe Sainz is.
Lewis Hamilton's contract is also up next year.
Yeah, that's under the impression if Lewis leaves.
Yeah, I mean, he might just say, "Okay, I'm retiring."
I honestly don't see that happening. But obviously, Lewis has a lot of avenues.
We never saw Michael Schumacher retiring. He did.
I mean, Michael Schumacher retired. Yeah, Michael Schumacher retired after 2 years of not winning a championship. Yeah. That's what usually happens to the greats.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from Alonso. Alonso's like, I'm just gonna stick around. Jab tak main jeetunga. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's true if you think about Vettel as well. Yeah. So after leaving, he's been 2 years outside of Ferrari now.
Yeah.
He's not in a championship winning car. And he very openly says, I'll see if I'm here in the future.
Yeah.
Someone asked him, "Oh, would you be interested to drive for Porsche when they join?" He's like, "I don't know if I'm going to be here, man."
Yeah.
So that could be possibly true for Lewis as well. But again, it's very weird. Who is McLaren going to sign now?
I feel then they're going to run him down 2 years, keep him there.
And make the money off his merchandise.
Yeah, just keep them there. Maybe just hope, pray
that another Monza happens.
Yeah, Ricciardo gets better. Give him maybe another year.
The thing is, it's not like he doesn't deserve it. It's not like he's a bad driver in the past.
Yeah,
that's what I like to point. And all the new fans come up to me and say he sucks. Why do you guys like him? I'm like, listen, this guy was the shit.
Yeah,
this guy was the guy doing dive bombs. He was when a chaotic race happened. You can best be assured that Ricciardo's going to win that race because he was just the chaos, like Sonic the Hedgehog, just going through everyone.
Exactly.
He's a brilliant driver. I think if any, we can give him benefit of doubt, give him some time. But even then, the performances don't warrant that. They're too poor at the moment.
I mean,
he finished P13 today. He finished second last.
Yeah. Well.
Every car, all the cars that were ahead of him almost crashed and everything. He should have been up there. I mean, Lando Norris was unhappy with P6. He was like, I should have been P5.
Yeah. Well, let's see. How can you recover out of this? In this situation, was very hard for him to get that car underneath him at this moment.
But yeah, that's been the British Grand Prix.
Whew.
And
phew.
I easily
so much more, man.
There's a lot more to talk. We can talk about each lap if you want.
Yeah. We could have gone much more longer.
Yeah, but I think this is one of the best races of all time.
Yeah, hands down.
And I'm saying that as a person who loves the 2018 Great British Grand Prix.
This is great racing. I mean, respect.
I predicted that last time, by the way. I said 2 big crashes. And that happened. I'm sorry about that. Fantastic racing, red flags, and fantastic battles.
Do you remember our predictions from last?
Yeah. So I predicted Verstappen and P2 for Leclerc and P3 for Leclerc. Okay. You predicted in your original one, you said Sainz is going to win. So you did get that.
Yes.
You said Leclerc P2. No. And I think P3 you gave to Paris or something, or like or some. No, you said George Russell. I remember now, George Russell.
Yeah, I always have hope for Mercedes there.
Yeah, I mean, hope for Mercedes, and you finally got your Carlos Sainz victory. And now Anush will never talk about it.
I'm done. Charles, please get back to the championship.
I mean,
Ferrari.
I think our closing thought should be like, do you think Ferrari can do it? Can they bounce back? Because I've read out the points for you, man. So 138, 181. That's it.
To be honest, it will be decided for me at Hungary.
So at the last race before the summer season.
Yes, because that will be my grace. That if they can do it here, that means they will get some confidence in the fact that let's get back.
That's true.
But as soon as we're back after the summer break, we have high speed tracks coming. And we've seen the Red Bull top speed has been insane.
Yeah, even Lewis is like, you guys are way too fast.
And a lot of upgrades also happened in this track as well. Williams got the most upgrade and only Alex Albon got it, but he crashed.
Oh my God, we didn't talk about Latifi.
Yeah.
Can I rounds of applause? Guess who's P20 in the standings now? Latifi.
Woo!
Well done, Latifi.
But I like that Nico still has now. Nico has a whole page to himself.
Yeah, now Nico Hülkenberg's not even racing, but he's still in the standings. There. But obviously, we just talked about Albon, but like Latifi, man, good job.
Good job.
Keep this up. Yeah. You might keep
Q3.
The seat. Q3, almost in the points. Yeah. And continuously in the points for half of the race.
We should have done him in the last podcast.
In just the last podcast.
In a lot of podcasts.
In all the podcasts. So. But really happy to see that if he keeps it up, then he can keep the seat. If he doesn't, bye-bye. And I wouldn't be surprised if the decision is already made, by the way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Piastri has already been signed on.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Yeah, we'll see
what happens on that. Summer break, I think so a lot of news will also break for a lot of contracts as well.
That's usually when it happens.
Yeah.
Usually in between the summer break, they're all like signing off and enjoying their holidays. But you were talking about upgrades and like upgrades wise.
Yeah. So upgrades wise, like a lot of teams still bring it like the more generic number was 6 and 4. Red Bull brought 4. Mercedes bought 6, which actually worked out for them.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Those upgrades actually bought them pace back.
How many upgrades did Ferrari bring, Anush?
So Ferrari brought 1, which also then concerned me still in the fact that why are you doing this? Like, if their game is that we are going to wait till that summer break, and then after summer break we're going to be wham, here you go. This is an all new car for you guys to be super fast.
I mean, look at the constructor standard point. So 328 for Red Bull, 265 for Ferrari. I say that they've lost it already. In reality, that's close because their Red Bull just need a bad race, 1 or 2, and Ferrari's back in it. But that's presuming if Carlos and Leclerc are up there, that there's not being strategy blunders. They're not pushing the drivers off, like, making them battle each other and not deciding when to change positions.
Yeah.
That is all dependent on that. That's why I've lost confidence in Ferrari many times over the years. There's no doubt about that. But I think this is one of the worst because never has it been so early in the championship. Remember 2018? Vettel won this race in style. Kimi came third. P2 was Lewis Hamilton.
Till the midsummer we were so great in all of those championships.
Even after Germany, once we got to Belgium, Sebastian Vettel won.
Yeah,
it's only after that when things fell apart again as usual. But it's never happened this early, man. The gap seems way too large, and Verstappen's going to need PU failures at this point, or just bad luck.
Bad races. I mean, like, because now you really need a string of performances. Like, you need domination at this moment in the fact that you need 5 back-to-back race wins to come back to this.
And you need 1-2 finishes, which you were handed on a silver platter this time, and you lost it. You were given it, but you couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, they were just like, let's give one person the softs.
And the other person, I'm going to wag my finger at him.
I will be like, okay, all right, we are a one-person team, I guess, for Ferrari.
Yeah.
But really, if I had one hope of Sainz winning and I finally got it, I think my hope is just to bring Ferrari back. Like, I really...
How many years?
So, at this moment, I'm even like, all right, Ferrari won't win. Red Bull wins. Max wins. Fine. But I want it to be close. Because now they're running away with it.
Yeah.
And I want this championship to get back to the wire. To the fact that on the last race, we're like, oh my God. Charles and Max, aren't they going to go? Or maybe Charles, Max, Perez, Sainz, Lewis Hamilton.
George Russell.
What's happening here? Like,
because if you think about it, so the difference between them is almost around 60 points.
Yeah.
The difference between Ferrari and Mercedes is 265, 204.
Yeah.
So that's also just this equal amount difference. And Mercedes are getting faster. And you've got two drivers who are consistent as hell and are hungry. And Lewis was hungry for this victory.
He's always hungry.
I mean, but this time it gave him like, after the race in the cool down room, he looked upset. Yeah. After in the interviews, he looked a bit more happier. And he's like, okay, this at least gives me affirmation that I can win. I can possibly do this. There's races where I can see myself raising the trophy first.
True. Very true.
So it's going to get exciting. And I hope it is. But, you know, it's wishful thinking at this point, I think. It's the 10th round, man.
I had Sainz, so I will still...
True. So in 10 rounds, we'll see Leclerc win. Again. We'll keep on going into
no, that season ending.
But I'm excited for Austria next week. Yes. What are your predictions?
Oh, God damn it.
It is the home of Red Bull. It is the home of the rivalry starting between Verstappen and Leclerc.
So last season, Red Bull dominated this track.
Yes.
Back-to-back wins because we had double headers there. I do feel that Red Bull is going to bounce back really well for Austria.
It's a very fast track.
I do feel that Max is going to be P1. P2, if Sainz's confidence is back, but I don't know what behind closed doors they'll be like, okay, we let Sainz win, now you can win, Charles. So you will get to
never overtake him again.
Right. So I don't know if that's not the case and they let them fight, they let their thing. I do believe that Sainz has the potential to come to second. He won't be able to chase down Max, but P3 I would give it to George Russell this time.
He gave it last time as well, but
I don't know. I really like that kid, man. Like that guy is like.
It's the first time he didn't finish out. He finished out of the top 5 this season.
Yeah,
he's the only driver to finish top 5. Now he had a DNF, of course, because of a horrible crash. But yeah, my prediction would be, I'm thinking Verstappen's gonna be hungry. Verstappen wasn't pissed off at his team because it was obviously nothing to do with them. Usually he'd have some choice words to say, but this time I think. Oh man, I don't know why I'm getting a feeling. I think Perez is gonna do an upset. I think this is a track Perez is decent at in the past. He's not horrible. He hasn't got podiums there, but in terms of midfield teams, he's been there and abouts.
Okay.
But I just think Perez is gonna bring something because again, whenever a driver beats the first driver and they're the second driver, it kind of gives them a little inch, like same thing that Sainz is getting right now. Like gives them a little push, like, okay, you can do this as well, you can fight for the championship. So I'm hoping I want to do something different, so I'm gonna say Paris. I'm gonna say Leclerc or Verstappen.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm gonna think Leclerc and Verstappen gonna go for it, and Perez gonna be like just like.
And Sainz is what P4.
Yeah, whatever. Was a जीत लिया race. जितना करना था उसका. Your camera just turned off. So you can't see him. I'll just have a picture of him. But thank you for watching. This has been On The Mic. This has been Lights Out. I'm Umar Fassi Bashir. That's Anush Zirik. There'll be a screenshot of him. Make sure you follow him and Anush at Anush Zirik. I think it's the same as well.
Yes.
You can follow me at Umar Fassi B and on The Mic. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And make sure you tell us what you think about the race as well. Go down in the comments and have some fun. We'll have some discussions. We'll talk about the race. And we'll see you next time in Austria.
Peace out.